morning we were discussing laws of goyim that touch wine. Now, interestingly, this can apply sometimes to Jews also. The Shulchan Aruch in Yeridea Siman Bet discusses if a person can lose his status as a Jew halachically, and the Shulchan Aruch writes, yes, he could. If a person does not keep Shabbat, he breaks Shabbat publicly, he can lose his status of a Jew, and he's treated like a goy, treated like a goy in halacha for many things. And the Rashba writes, this includes yain nesech, it includes the touching of wine. So if you have a person who is breaking Shabbat publicly, technically his wine will also become forbidden to consume and to benefit, just like if a goy touched it. However, this doesn't apply to everybody exactly, because it has to be somebody who does nazlo. It has to be somebody who does it on purpose, knowingly. When the Gemara, Masechet Shabbat, Samachet, the Rambam in Chod Mamrim, Kippur Gimal, discusses the concept of Tinok Shenishba. Tinok Shenishba literally means a child who was kidnapped, which means to say there's a Jew who was kidnapped, or he was raised amongst Goyim, he doesn't know any better, he was never taught halachot, he was never taught about emunah, so he doesn't really realize he's doing big averot, he doesn't realize he's doing big sins. Very common. Recently, right, we had a lot of Jews grow up in communism. They were told there was no God, they were told there was no mitzvot, they had no yeshiva, they were not able to access spirituality, so they don't really know what, really realize the ramifications of what they're doing. So the Gemara tells us that we rule on these such people more leniently. We don't give a status of a goy to such people. The question is, do our people today, are they also considered Tinuk Shenishba? Are they also treated as children who were kidnapped? On the one hand, yes, they didn't have a proper upbringing, they didn't have proper education of Torah. Same time, they have access to Judaism today. They have a lot of access to Torah and Shiurim in Shul, and they send their kids to yeshiva. They themselves, they should also maybe learn. So that's a very big question. So in the Achroni we see Rabbi Yehuda Assad in his Tzuvat Yehuda Yaleh, he writes that yes, even our people today are also considered Tinok Shenishba. Why? He says to really get a status of a goy, you need to be testified against a bidin. And nobody really testifies today that so and so broke Shabbat and he drives on Shabbat in public. So you can't really deem him a goy in regards to yain nesech. And then also on the other hand, Rabbi Yaakov Edlinger, Alav Shalom, and in Binyan Yaakov, in Binyan Sion, he writes also that most of these people who break Shabbat, okay, they go home, they do kiddush, they eat the meal, and they go to work, or they go drive somewhere on Shabbat. It's not right, but at least they say that they believe in God, they do kiddush. What's the whole reason a person is not treated as a goy when he doesn't keep Shabbat and breaks Shabbat publicly? It's because he's saying in the seventh day, Hashem rested, the 6 days he created the world, the seventh day he rested, and he's not celebrating Shabbat, so it's like he's saying, I don't believe in God, I don't believe that Hashem created the world. But he's doing kiddush, he prays, he shows that he does believe Hashem created the world, so he shouldn't get a status of a goy. Yaqut Yosef also says a similar reason. He says for this reason, there are some Ahronim who write also that to be treated as a goy, you have to break Shabbat through avodat karka. You have to do working of the land, melachot related to the earth. So such a thing, so only in those cases you'll be treated as a goy. So mitziruf, all these things, the combination of all these leniencies, very, very big reason to say most people fall into this category of they're not treated like a goy. But a person who knows and he doesn't do kiddush and he does nazlo and he knows very well what is Shabbat, and he does it on purpose, maybe only in such a case he'll be treated as a goy in yain nesach. So therefore, a person see these kind of people, he should try to mekarev them. He should also judge them favorably.